Say hello to the people, Phil.
Hello!
And welcome back, everybody.
To another episode of After the Hype.
After the Hype. This time, Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yes.
Indeed.
Great game.
Yeah.
God,
Phil,
I love this game.
Phil, have you ever played Kingdom Hearts 2?
Well, yes. It's my favorite game of all time.
Oh, that's crazy, because I just played it for the first time for our show over on twitch.tv/2pennygames. Have you ever played acronymed to Hype? H.Y.E.P, spelled wrong, we know. That we do every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Central Time. And it's an all-day stream in which one of us sits down and shows the other one a game that we love that the other one has never played. For example, you had never played Metal Gear Solid, so we sat down and we played through the entirety of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, we did.
We did indeed. We've also done Metal Gear 2 and 3. We've done Gears of War 1. We did Kingdom Hearts 1. And today, we are talking about our experience of you showing me Kingdom Hearts 2. Phil.
Yes.
How do you feel generally about Kingdom Hearts 2?
I love that game.
Yeah? You've been on record saying it is your favorite game of all time.
And yes, it's true.
Indeed.
Still holds up for me to this day.
Okay. Very nice. What about Kingdom Hearts 2 makes it your favorite?
I really like the action, like the combat.
Okay. Which is...
I mean, just running around, fighting Heartless, fighting bosses with Donald and Goofy with Keyblades and knocking shit around.
Yeah.
And
so if you don't know, Kingdom Hearts is a
it's an action JRPG.
It's a bit of a like mix. It's I would closely compare it to like a character action RPG with like of the likes of like DMC or God of War with some more RPG elements pulled from Final Fantasy type stuff. Mm-hmm. It stays pretty light in its RPG-ness. There are a few builds and things you can do, but for the most part, it's about knocking dudes around and having fun and unlocking cool, sick combos and sort of a power fantasy.
Yeah,
if you will.
So I really enjoy the combat and specifically like the boss fights. A lot of the boss fights that you didn't even do. Yeah,
I did not do all of them. We stuck pretty golden path with Kingdom Hearts.
It's just very, very, very satisfying. Very, very fun to know like what certain bosses' weaknesses are and go in with a build that like goes with that.
So what real top level? What is your history with Kingdom Hearts 2 here?
Well, so as a child, I picked up Kingdom Hearts 1 from my uncle when I was like maybe 9 or 10.
Okay.
And I played a shit ton of that until when I was like 12. A friend of mine had a copy of Kingdom Hearts 2. And he was like, "Here, you want to play it?" And I was like, "Hell yes,
hell yeah!"
Obviously,
they made another one of these.
Yeah, I mean, I knew there were sequels. I had never even thought to even play any of the other ones other than the first one.
As you do as a kid.
And so when I got the game, I booted it up and I fucking stayed up really late at night and I fucking played through a shit ton of it. And it was I don't know, I feel like it was love at first sight for me.
Fantastic. So this was my first time playing Kingdom Hearts 2. Here on After the Hype, this is our review show for Hype. So I guess I'll give sort of the modern contemporary take here of Kingdom Hearts as a first time player. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun game.
It's very fun.
I for the most part I liked it. I think it took us 3 weeks, 3 sessions, yes. Each about 8 to 9 hours long, to beat the main story there. So we're looking at what is that? 27 hours?
Yeah, about 27.
27-ish, give or take. And for context, I did not like Kingdom Hearts 1 when we played it. Not a fan at all.
No, you did not.
Thought the combat was inconsistent. I never felt as powerful as I thought I should. The story was non-existent and nonsense. And I thought AI behavior, which was like one of my big things, was so inconsistent and it was impossible to figure out what the fuck I was supposed to do. I don't feel that way. Most of my critiques of the first game do not continue in the second. For the most part, I feel like the AI is improved. I often felt just as powerful or even overpowered where I should be. I know there's side quests and boss fights that I could have explored and done to where they would have kicked my teeth in. Didn't really do any of that.
You tried one.
I did try one just to see, and yeah, I got destroyed in 30 seconds, and I was like, oh, okay, that is some late game shit right there. Which I do like and appreciate. Story is there this time. It's pretty non-existent. We'll get into that, but let's dive deep into gameplay. It's tighter. I think the way they build combos into your play set makes more sense. I feel like you have actual freedom in choice in how you build your Sora out in this game. Mm-hmm. I think, bottom line, they do whatever they can to make it flashy and cool and fun. Especially with the
drive forms,
and the you can have 2 keyblades now.
Yeah.
And the inclusion of the, what were they called? The reaction commands.
Mm-hmm.
The where you know, when an enemy has a certain action, you press Y real quick, or triangle. We played on Xbox. You press Y real quick, and then Sora does a cool little like finisher move type thing, usually, or it's like a dodge or something. All of that, plus an improved set of mini games. You know, Kingdom Hearts 1, I think nobody likes the gummy ship sections.
Yeah, it's very true.
And a lot of the other mini games fall pretty flat. This one, the mini games were cool, fun. I was into it. They never overstayed their welcome, and the gummy ships, I'm not gonna call great, but they're good enough. Mm-hmm. You know, they're fun little mindless things. I think after our first session, I described to you, man, this game is the perfect after work, tired, crack a beer open and just just fucking relax.
I did that a lot.
Yeah.
So I would come home from school and I would just fucking turn on Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah. So this game, after playing the first game, I was like, man, this fucking sucks. And after playing this game, I'm like, okay, I get it. I see why people enjoy this series. I see why people enjoy these games and why they're so fun and beloved, especially, you know, from a generation of people who grew up on them.
And I'm going to tell you right now, doesn't get any better. You've reached the pinnacle.
Which is why...
That's the tip of the mountaintop.
I get why people like it. I don't get why people are fans of this franchise. Which I think are 2 different things. You know, for example, I like... what is the series I like that I'm not a fan of? I don't know. I like Yakuza games. I'm not a fan of Yakuza games. You know, I'll play them, I'll have fun, but I'll move on. This game is long. Mm-hmm. It's a long game, and we did the bare bones minimum. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel compelled to go do any of the other things. If I wanted to, I could, and I wouldn't be like adverse to it. But it's not like I'm not like, oh man, I'm itching to play some Kingdom Hearts right now. As a 23-year-old man who plays, you know, most games that come out. And I don't, and as fun as I think the combat is, I think especially in this one, it's more dependent on flash than it is on, actual feel. In which case, it doesn't give room for me to justify its 25 plus hour runtime. And then even on top of that, there's another 10 hours of content, probably 20 hours of content, probably
10 if not more.
Yeah. So I just don't see why I would feel compelled to go do those things. Now, I'll say this game was good enough to where, like, hey, if the next big Kingdom Hearts entry comes out, I would even consider, you know, jumping in and playing it with everybody else. So I can say that. That's a positive. You know, I'm in enough to where I'm like, okay, I like this. I'll try it out if I have nothing else going on.
So to answer the question as to why people are fans of this game, I think that we're on the line of fans versus just enjoying the game.
Okay.
Mainly the reason people keep playing them is because we're in too deep. We're in too deep, and we need to know where it's going. Yeah. We've invested too much of our lives, in waiting, because
well, it got you all in at an age where,
very influential
quality of, we'll say, storytelling and quality of lore and world building didn't matter as much.
So, Kingdom Hearts 2 was released in 2005, I believe. 2004, 2005.
2004.
Kingdom Hearts 3 came out a year ago.
Yeah, January of
2019.
2019. Well, so technically 2 years ago.
Sure. I'm just saying, it's at the point where it feels like a year ago.
Yeah.
And to have 14, 15 years between two mainline games.
Ooh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, you get all these jokes from...
Oh, I was really wrong. Excuse me, keep burping. December 22nd, 2005.
2005, yeah. So, yeah.
So 14 years, 13 years and a month, the difference.
So, yeah. It's just, we're too invested. Because they released all those other games that... there's not a single Kingdom Hearts game that releases that doesn't have something to do with the overarching story.
Yeah, which I think is a problem, but
each of them are released on a different console.
Yeah. Lots of ranging from DS to mobile phones to browser games.
To browsers, yep.
And then to mainline consoles. And on top of that, if I understand correctly, there's a lot of like re-releases that add a bunch of content that do affect overall story stuff or whatever. So we finished Kingdom Hearts 2 and you immediately started throwing on like story recaps and stuff because I wasn't retaining any of the information, and I was just sitting there playing games, and I kept saying while we were playing, I like this game. I hate it when characters talk.
Yeah.
And that goes across the board, whether it's cutscenes, in-game dialogue, even just whenever they do the occasional just text bubbles. I hate it because it's all just nonsense that they're just saying to say.
There are so many moments that I would explain something, and then they're like literally right after a cutscene saying the same thing I just said would play.
And let me tell you, immediately after both of those things happening, in one ear, out the other.
I know.
Couldn't
then
tell you
later,
what was said.
it would piss me off because then you'd be like, wait, why is this happening? So I was like, Tavin, I literally just explained what this happened.
But everything would be explained with, okay, yeah, but like then it's like this, but then it's explained like this, and then that feeds into this thing that you haven't heard about yet. To which I go, I can't care. I can't bring myself to care, because it's just a whole lot of. It just sounds like gurgly schmoof.
I didn't say it was good.
It's not.
I've said it many times. I don't play Kingdom Hearts 2 for the story. I play it for the game.
And I don't think anybody should. I think everybody should play Kingdom Hearts for the game, and then also just the charm of running around Disney worlds, which are, severely less charming than their movie counterparts. But, they're there, and it's hitting on nostalgia and fan service of those properties to where it's charming enough to be like, okay, yeah, I like seeing Mulan here. I like seeing Jack Sparrow running around saying things that he probably wouldn't actually say.
He's just like Sora.
Yeah, he's just like Sora. Anyways.
They're so much alike.
So yeah, story of this game, nonsense, but the gameplay, fun enough and flashy enough to entertain. I don't think for 30 hours, but, different strokes for different folks. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into some of our favorite moments of this playthrough, and then I guess just some of my favorite moments of the game.
You ended the game at below level 50?
I did.
I grind every playthrough to level 99.
Fuck that. Fuck that. No.
You also you hardly leveled up any of the drive forms. Like, I think you leveled up Valor Form twice.
You are correct.
And you leveled up...
maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think you leveled up any other ones.
I don't think I did either. Which I'll say, the way this game dishes out upgrades and combos and new moves, they don't help you out at all in the understanding of any of those systems, do they?
Well, no, they're not. They're not very explained on how you do it.
Because
the only ones that are pretty. I think the only one that is pretty self-explanatory is Valor Form, because it's literally just number of hits. Yeah.
Well, we were many hours in, and I was like, man, when do I get dodge roll? And you were like, you have to upgrade the limit form for that. And I said, I have to what?
Yeah.
For dodging, I have to upgrade a subsystem class, a subclass of a subsystem that, we were playing on the easiest difficulty, but like, you don't 100%, if you're good enough, you don't have to use those forms. Why? Why is that ability, which I think is pretty critical to these types of games, locked behind all of that.
You have guard and reflect. Who needs to dodge?
I guess you're right. Yeah. Still have an issue with guard where I don't like how the timing is built around it, but you know.
Well, you're bad.
Sure, I'll take that. I don't care. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into some of our favorite moments. We'll just kind of jump around. Tron is in this game.
Yeah, dude.
Tron is a Disney World that we go to.
I kind of had to silence the chat a little bit. I was like, hey, he's about to I was like, hey, so there's a world in this game that you're like, oh man, it's a really weird pull.
Oh,
I think you'll like it.
I like that it's there.
Yeah.
I did. It was immediately one of those things like Tron is here and that's exciting. And then like 15 minutes into the Tron world, I was like, okay, I'm done with Tron.
That's how everybody feels about it.
I'm done with Tron.
But that's like one of the weaker worlds.
It's really cool that it's there.
Yeah.
And it's really weird because it's 2005. We are that is what 7 years removed from Tron being relevant again from Tron Legacy. Or before Tron Legacy, and then like 20 years after Tron came out. So like, who is thinking about Tron of all things for a kids game? These kids don't want to see Tron; they want to see Beauty and the Beast and Mulan and Mickey Mouse, run around. So yeah, Tron got a big pop out of me as soon as the computer boots up and starts digitizing you the way they do in the original movie, which I've never seen, but I've seen that scene. Mm-hmm. I was like, that's really cool. And then the level was boring, and the Tron bike sequence was terrible.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see. Some of my other favorites. I liked Beauty and the Beast quite a bit. It was nice that they actually got It was nice that they actually have their own world in here. Beauty and the Beast, one of my favorite Disney movies. So
that's
another
big note from general public.
Yeah,
people like that world.
It was nice to visit. I liked Mulan. I thought the gimmick of the morale thing was cute, and every time the world had a gimmick, I usually enjoyed the gimmick, except for Tron. And Pirates wasn't cool either. But Pirates, I like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and it was cool to see them there. I was like, oh, that's interesting. What's another one I really, really liked? Oh,
Timeless River.
I was thinking about Endless River.
Timeless
River. Excuse me. Yeah, that one blew my mind. That was the most fun I had in any of the worlds.
Go back in time
Timeless River and very Steamboat Willie or Tugboat Willie.
No, it's Steamboat Willie.
It's Steamboat Willie. Okay. And in that art style, and they reworked Sora, Goofy, and Donald to look like they were in that cartoon, and jumping into the different subworlds of that world and playing little gimmicky combat arenas. All of that was cool. I enjoyed the boss fight well enough there with old timey Pete. Yeah, that was a blast. I liked Lion King. Mostly just because Lion Sora is fucking gangster as shit.
This is where we found out Tavin was a furry.
Oh my god, he's so dude!
So your persona is a lion.
I know he's got the necklace with the crown and the chain and whatever on his usual, but the way it looks on little Sora as like little baby Simba styled Sora, that shit was gangster, man. He was dripped the fuck out. Oh my god, it was so cool.
And you like drifting?
When you get the sprint ability and you just start drifting and there's no animation to it and there's no sense of speed or momentum, you're just sliding around. Mm-hmm. Gangster as fuck, man. I fucking love that. That shit was hysterical to me. The level design of that world was kind of bleh. But, God, it was cool. Oh man, it was so cool. I think those are all my favorites. And then of course the final boss and the final encounter, epic as fuck.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, and those final cutscenes, so fucking epic. Mm-hmm. Loved it. I liked fighting Roxas.
Yep.
That was one of my favorite boss fights.
Hell yeah, that's a good one.
Fucking loved it. All of it was epic, and the way that it builds on itself to continue to give
the
you
Roxas theme.
And to continue to give you the player those moments. I don't think I could have flubbed that sentence any worse. Was just fucking phenomenal.
That whole entire last world is nothing but like an epic boss rush.
Yeah, how do we give players? It's very like in-gamey where it's like how do we continue to give players like all of these moments that they're like fuck that's cool.
That's usually where Kingdom Hearts is its strongest, is the final world, and it gives you like boss rush stuff like in pretty much all the games.
Yeah. So really fucked with all of that. Really enjoyed all of that. Solid game, Phil.
Dude,
solid game.
If you like that, you'll love anime. I'm telling you.
No, I won't. Because I'll tell you what, Phil. The story justifications to get to those moments totally undermines all of them. And it bugs me way more than I was letting on in the moment, because I was like, man, the context surrounding these epic moments are fucking garbage, and it doesn't make any sense, and I hate it. But when you're hopping around from like whatever the big cylinder things that they were doing, and you're doing the like weird swords jumping around and you got to smack the things into the reactors or whatever.
Oh, right.
Yeah, near the end. What are they called? Help me out here.
They were called cylinder. I mean, that's what it was called. It was right cylinder, left cylinder, and you had to do the action jump. That
moment is epic. It's really dope to look at, and it's visually really, really cool. But the context around it is garbage. And I don't know, man. I just at every note that the game was like, this is a cool moment. The building to it and the foundation of it just completely took it down a whole notch. But some of those moments were so cool that they were able to surpass that and so forth. Phil.
Yeah.
Is there really any reason to even play another Kingdom Hearts game, or?
I'm gonna.
Well, you're going to, and I'll probably play a new one, but it'll purely just to bounce between Disney Worlds, and if I'm playing on my own, I'll be skipping cutscenes because Jesus Christ, I hate when characters talk in this fucking franchise.
Maybe we'll play Kingdom Hearts 3.
Down in the future for Have You Ever Played?
Yeah, maybe.
Probably sit in that Metal Gear Solid 4 level of
pretty much. Yeah.
We got nothing else to do. Sure, why not? All right. Do you have any questions or things you wanted my thoughts on, or generally, or anything you just wanted to say to the audience that would be like fucking Tavin's annoying to put up with for games like for this game?
Yeah, Tavin bitches a lot.
I do.
Yeah.
Very critical. Sometimes in the worst ways. Yeah,
That's
it really bugged you
game.
that I tore apart the gummy ship garage, whatever it's called.
Well, you're nitpicking, and I don't want to get into this conversation.
I am, but things deserve to be nitpicked. That's how you get good things and you make them better, and it's how you study bad things and you go, what would you do to fix this?
16-year-old game, by the way.
Yes. So is it fair? Probably not. Definitely not. Actually, I'll say definitively not fair to judge it and hold it to modern standards. But we look back on, and that's I think the purpose of this series is to look back on it and be like, okay, and then as we get to more contemporary games, we can start seeing, building blocks and influences that these older games started.
One of my favorite memes that have come out from Kingdom Hearts being re-released and re-released and re-released is there's the scene right after Goofy dies, gets hit by the rock, and then Mickey tears his organization cloak off, and he goes, "They'll pay for this," and that's what Square Enix says to us. Is they'll pay for this.
They'll pay for this
because we will. We'll
for every re-release.
We're going to pay for it.
Yeah, you are. I don't know why you are, but you are.
I'm going to buy it.
I guess, and I don't know if this is a game that I would ever I would buy it once, like when it came out, and then I'd be like, all right, cool, whatever.
Nope, I'm buying it.
All right. Shockingly quick things to say, because I don't know how much more I have to say about this.
Yeah,
thing.
I mean, we pretty much wrapped it up.
Yeah. There we go. All right, so we're gonna call it there for After the Hype. Oh, you like doing scores. Okay. What do you score Kingdom Hearts to?
On my scale,
as a fan and
as a game, I give it like a 8 out of 10, but it's my favorite game of all time.
Okay, more modest. I thought you were going hard 9, and that's a big jump from an 8 to a 9. Yeah, I'm sitting in a 7, maybe even 7.5 range. So I liked it. I enjoyed it. Had a good time.
I'll take that.
I think it overstays its welcome, and
yeah, but it makes up for it at the end.
It does make up for it in many ways. So, yeah, that'll be it for our After the Hype review of Kingdom Hearts 2. If you're listening to the podcast, the Two Penny Games Cast, youtube.com/2pennygamescast, that comes out every Monday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Thank you for sticking around for this little segment. If you're listening to the breakout video that comes out Tuesday at 8 a.m.
Right after.
If you're listening, we're going to be live in a few hours over at twitch.tv/2pennygames. If you're
1
listening,
p.m. Central.
1 p.m. Central. If you're listening as the episode comes out, which I doubt you are, where was I going with that? I totally forgot. Fuck, I flubbed it. See, this is why I shouldn't be doing a show where I have to talk right after I donate plasma, because thoughts get lost in my fog. Yeah, or if you're listening later, we're live on Twitch. I don't know. Come check out Twitch.
One of us is live.
If you're listening the day of, that's what it is. We're playing Uncharted 1, Drake's Fortune. You excited for that, Phil? Meh.
We'll play it.
We'll play it. And you know what? We'll get to the end and you'll be like, alright, that was a game. Pretty sure. But it's important to play it context for the games coming later. So yeah, we're doing that. Check back. We'll probably be done with it in one sitting, so check back next week for after the hype of that. So there we go. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and Phil, say goodbye to the people. Bye!